We have some very problematic power grid reports from you guys that we have scheduled blackouts already happening in some places in the country, as well as subpar parts being used at an industrial level for electrification. These are reports you need to hear, and others do as well. Also, we'll be talking about the global helium shortage, particularly the United States strategic helium reserve that is almost empty. And we have more FEMA updates. Let's jump right into it, folks. Paper straw. Yuck. Anyway, welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates. Please do keep sending them in, letting us know what you guys are seeing, what you guys are hearing, and what you're experiencing at your stores and at your workplaces. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group, who makes this all possible. If you have a retirement account and you're like, what can I get into that's safer than stocks and bonds? You might want to talk to Jonathan and his team. They don't pressure you, but they will provide you information. They will educate you on your options and what they can look like. If you want to get an information packet from them, there'll be a link at the end of the video. All right, so lady says this. They've updated and replaced our siren in Atmore, Alabama, about 3 months ago. First time I heard a siren in forever. They are getting ready, friends. These are air raid sirens. They've been using them for storm warnings and all that kind of stuff like that, but they're air raid sirens. And with World War III on the horizon, with nuclear threats out there, they're taking this seriously. FEMA is moving. This is from another viewer in Wisconsin. I was at a local swim meet in Wisconsin last weekend. I overheard 3 coaches talking about how they would like to update the pool by purchasing new touch pads so that, you know, they sit in the water at the finish so that the swimmers can touch and stop the clock on their race. The coach said that there is a 36-month lead time for ordering new touch pads. They're just simple consumer electronics. 36-month lead time. I realize that touch pads are not a life or death item, but it's still a sign of the economy and what's happening. There are a lot of electrical components out there that are not coming through at the pace we need them as a society. We are becoming further and further behind. Touch pads, okay, whatever, doesn't make that big of a deal. But what happens if you have a manufacturing line and a part goes out, right? And you can't replace that part for this machinery and your whole production line shuts down. That's going to have knock-on effects to everyone that you produce things for. Maybe you produce parts for other machines, right? We're seeing this cascading problem throughout the U.S. economy and the world economy. Philip says, we have a scheduled blackout where I live in Brawley, California, where everything is perfect, right? Scheduled blackout, expected to last from 2 to 4 a.m. So for 2 hours, they're going to lose power. Are you guys experiencing that where you are? Now, maintenance needs to be done. I get that. But whenever you start seeing power outages, especially when the power grid is being strained, especially when there's storm damage, it should get you awoken up a little bit. Joan says, I drive a 2019 Honda. All 2018 to 2020 vehicles have been recalled for fuel pump modules. I received a letter yesterday. Okay, it's a recall. Not a big deal, right? But it gets worse. However, it was to inform us that even though it could go out while driving on the road or refusing to start, the parts won't be available until fall. They're doing a recall, but they don't actually have the parts to fix them until September, October, or later. Yikes. So if your car breaks down, tough luck, come back in the fall. They ask for our patience. And like I wrote down here, if you wanted this headache, you would have bought an electric car, right? If you wanted that type of insanity, you would have bought an electric car. But you're out there buying a Honda, trying to buy a reliable vehicle. That's all what we want, right? I mean, sure, there's some folks out there that want to get a sports car. Someone wants to get a fancy Hummer or something like that. But most of us, we just want a car that works, right? I mean, it's good if it looks cool, but we just want a car that we can like turn the key and it moves. Like that's what we want from a car. This is from a viewer. Took my wife to the doctor. This was back in February 13th. And her doctor mentioned that they were having supply issues getting certain medications. My wife takes Wegovy, a pre-diabetes that helps with weight loss and keeping blood sugars in check. Can't find the lower doses of it. My wife was calling every pharmacy within 2 hours of us to get it. So if you're not familiar with that, there's this whole swath of things like Wegovy and some others that basically do the same thing. And people are taking these for weight loss now. And so they become extremely popular, super fast, which makes me super skeptical, of course. I don't know about you, but when something sounds too good to be true, I just want to wait a little bit and see if it is, right? Of course, I'm the guy that never got the iPhone until my first iPhone was the iPhone 9, and it had been out for a bunch of years before that point, right? So the iPhone 11 or 12 was out when I got my first 9. I wanted to see how it works out. I'm not an early adopter. I'm not. Especially when it comes to health and medications and stuff like that. But if your doctor's prescribing it for you, there's legitimate uses for it. The problem is they've just started prescribing it to everybody. Like, oh, you look like you're a little bit overweight. Let's prescribe this to you. Sounds like everybody who had high blood pressure getting prescribed all sorts of stuff back in the day, right? And then we later found out, oh, there's side effects like bad stuff, right? And so we're just kind of waiting to see what the side effects on this is. Let's see what they swept under the rug. But I'm just a little skeptical that everybody's jumping on it. Now, people who really need it, go for it. If your doctor's saying take it, then go for it. But always ask questions, folks. Always ask questions. Always do your own research. And don't just take what somebody says. I don't care if they're a professional. I don't care if they wear a coat. Okay? We need to be asking our own questions because we've had the wool pulled over our eyes how many times now? If you're not asking questions yet, I don't know what will get you to. George says, Oklahoma is looking into passing a bill that would require businesses to accept cash as a form of payment. Of course, if we were to get a bill out right in front of us and look at it, what does it say on it? It says that it is by order of the Office of the President, the Treasury Department, that it is for all debts, public and private. It says it right on the bills, right? And it's interesting how these people who wrote the insanity of like, oh yeah, it's not backed up by the dollar, but you know, it's backed up by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government, whatever that means. Like sure, okay. So what's the full force of the federal government going to give me? Nothing. It's not backed by anything, right? And so they put on the bill that, well, then everyone has to accept these. That's what's backing it up, is the economy of the United States. You have to accept this for debt. And then you go into a store and they're like, we're not going to accept cash. It's like, it's written on the frickin' piece of paper, right? It's right there. The people that put the insanity together don't even want to be held accountable to the rules that they created. And I don't know. Suddenly you don't like the effects of the stupidity that you've put into place, but yet we're all supposed to abide by the new stupidity that they've come out with. Yeah, the old stupidity is less worse than the new stupidity. Cash, paper bills is better than the stupid stuff they're putting out now. Now that's not good. Paper bills are not good, but they're better. At least they give you a little bit of privacy, right? That you can spend your money the way you want to without being tracked. Whether we can do much without being tracked nowadays, I don't know. Here's another viewer sharing about parts. Parts are gone. About 6 months ago, my work had a layoff because of lack of computer chips. They produced power equipment used for power companies, right, to monitor and regulate the power they produce. Now, does that sound like an important use case or an unimportant use case? They use equipment for power companies to monitor and regulate the power, the voltages, and everything like that, right? That's really important stuff. They had to stop producing the gear and look over what kind of chips were left available. So they needed to use these chips, but they couldn't get those chips, computer chips. So they're like, well, we had these computer chips. Can we make anything out of that? And they redesigned in order to stay in business. This means no more production, and the layoffs resulted. Today they are producing new lines of questionable equipment. In order to reopen the factories, they started pushing out this equipment that sort of works. That's what's going into our power grid today. Stuff that sort of works, or in their words, questionable equipment. The new designs are buggy, and the chips remaining are buggy as well. It's a slow motion train wreck. Do you need to have a backup plan for power outages? You certainly do. You certainly do. You're hearing it straight from the professionals, right? Believe the professionals. And they're telling you that the equipment going into our power grid today is buggy and questionable. All right. Enough doom and gloom. Let's move on to the next thing. Trilobe says, as an HVAC and refrigeration tech, I can verify the problems getting parts for all of them. Refrigeration and HVAC, right? We are going to see these problems get worse, especially with aging equipment. So they can't get components to repair commercial refrigeration units, and they can't get them for replacing like store freezers, store refrigeration bunkers. Can't replace those things, can't repair them. I've had to wait over a week for a compressor for one unit. You can get replacement units, but the cost is too expensive for most owners. There it is again. Another viewer says, my son was a tubie for 5 years, and this is referring to eating, all right, eating through a tube. You can only reuse medical supplies so many times. External and medical formulas are affected by the shortages. Both of my kids are FTT and rely on Pediasure. That's one of the formulations, right? Via DME to supplement, as well as appetite stimulants. And our local company says they are experiencing higher call volumes and shortages. Life essential stuff, and they're experiencing shortages. I have to call for supplies today. My kids have 2 health insurances each, and not only have there been medical delays, med delays, but their secondary Medicaid has been giving us issues. I'm hoping there are no med shortages for my son's upcoming surgery. We are in Iowa, near Nebraska. People are struggling. These shortages are impacting people's lives. Yeah, okay, maybe your kids don't get upgraded touch pads at your swim meet, right? Maybe your local pool doesn't have upgraded touch pads, but other people are having serious problems because of these shortages. It goes from being inconvenient to being life-threatening when you're dependent upon the things that are in shortage. Know the things that you are life dependent upon and make sure you're stocked up. Make sure you have alternate plans, because that's where we are today. Gooster Dog says, my friend just sent me an article and it was from Mercola. I don't know anything about what that is. The article was about our government being the largest seller of helium and that it's needed to cool MRI machines. The article states that we have had a shortage for some time, but now the government is selling off our reserves at a fast pace. I thought it may be something for Steve to do an investigation on. So yes, I am familiar with the helium reserves. So basically, the United States, back in the early 1900s, we found a great supply down in Texas of helium in the ground. It was the world's largest supply, and we're like, this is great. We can make airships because that's the future of warfare. Of course, it turned out that airships weren't the future of warfare, but basically we were like, this is important stuff. This is as important as oil. So we created a strategic helium reserve. Now, over the years, we've kind of realized that helium's not really all that important. Birthday balloons and that kind of stuff. It has important technological applications, quantum computers, for some sorts of refrigeration needed for computing elsewhere, as well as MRI machines and stuff like that. Super important stuff, but, you know, you don't need so much of it, right? We still use it for birthday balloons when it's cheap. I mean, it's cheap to get, right? So people have been reporting on the fact that we've been running out of helium, and that's because this strategic helium reserve is running low. The problem is that we've been selling it so cheap that nobody's ever been like incentivized to like look for more. It's not that we can't find any more, it's that we just haven't looked in the world for more helium. Except for the fact that we found a pretty good source of helium, other than the strategic helium reserve from the United States, right? It turns out that we've been selling off helium at so cheap that's just not cost effective to look for it. That's mostly because it's cheaper to separate it out of natural gas. So the United States supplied the world with 79 million cubic meters of helium, followed relatively closely by Qatar. They produce 66 million cubic meters. So you can see that Qatar produces quite a bit of helium. And where did they get all that helium from? Their helium mine? No, they just separate it out of the natural gas that they're producing. And when it really comes down to it, of the 79 million cubic meters that the United States produces of helium in 2023, 60 million of it came from natural gas. 60 million of the 79 million cubic meters came from natural gas. We're just separating it out. And you know who hasn't really started implementing this at a widespread thing yet? Russia. Russia produces tons of natural gas, and they haven't started yet, but both Russia and Qatar have major huge plants under construction right now that are going to be separating more helium out of natural gas. And so as both Russia and Qatar develop these production plants, we will see a lot more helium hitting the market. So are we going to run out of helium? No. Is it coming from countries that we don't like trust quite so much, like Russia? We don't really trust Russia very much. But Qatar is pretty on our side for the most part when they're not supporting Hamas. But anyway, so we're not too bad off with the helium production out there. So that should let you rest a little bit better, so that you know that you will have balloons at your birthday parties and parties for the foreseeable future for a while now. All right. And quantum computers will be okay. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out some more information about Genesis Gold Group, there's a link right there on the screen. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report.